All right, Aries. So, as a lot of you guys seen during the preview, I had an issue with this because I don't believe that this is where you're headed. I feel like this is where you have already been, but I also feel like this is going to be a warning for some of you. So, owl, wise seeing, wise action, and then isolation. Now, owl is basically saying that you need to consider the action that you're about to take, that you can't act from a place of being overly emotional and you can't be too impulsive. So it's basically saying you just need to use wisdom when it comes to the action that you're going to take, but that wisdom may be telling you that now is the time for you to take action. So isolation, I look at that and I think some of you have been over preparing or making excuses as to why you're not doing something big in your life, because something big is going to pass you by if you don't act on it. That is what this card is saying. That could be, starting a big project, making a big move in your career, changing your relationship. Whatever it is here, you've been putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. So what I would say to you here is that, you need to pay attention to the wisdom, act with, consideration and not impulsively. But really, Aries, it's time to man up. That, or it's time to put on your big girl pants now and let's do this. I mean, seriously, no more excuses. It's time to do it now. It's time to take advantage of that big opportunity and make it happen for you. All right, Aries. Here's your overall. Oh boy. What is fair? What is balanced? What is right? It makes sense, right? The sun being in Libra, having to deal with this goddamn Venus retrograde and then it going back into Libra. But with justice being the overall, I mean, we could literally be talking about like court cases, things like that, things being finalized, a situation becoming fair and balanced. But it's also about you weighing out what you feel is right for you now, In the past, the hangman, I'm telling you, you've been putting something off. And for a lot of you, you may have been questioning, though, your perspective, almost. But with the hangman in the past, it's basically saying that, whatever you're dealing with here, whatever you feel like you need to make right in your life, you've been putting it off and putting it off, thinking that maybe I just need to see things differently. But all the while, you're not really acting or doing anything. That, or we could be talking about, another person or a situation that's being held up here. But I don't know. Given the oracle cards, I think that that's kind of where a lot of you are at. Or were, I should say. Jeez, Aries, the hell, man. The hangman doesn't last long, does it? But here's what I would say to you. For some of you, if you continue to keep yourself in this place of, not knowing what to do and not knowing how to act, it may be forced. Because when you look at the tower, you're talking about shocking, abrupt change, everything going boom, and all that shit being cleared away. But I always question this one because are you the one creating it, right? Are you coming out of hangman mode now and realizing that things need to be corrected in your life, things need to be fair, and are you making those drastic changes and cleaning the slate, so to speak? And look at the majors already. Okay, future conditions, the Seven of Wands, and I'm good with that, especially considering the fact that we're looking at justice. Now, the Seven of Wands can suggest that, with the Tower being above that, something big happening, big changes, whether you're creating them or whether it's something that just boom happens. With the Seven of Wands, you're standing up for yourself. You're speaking up now, and you're speaking up about what is fair and what is balanced. But a lot of times with the Seven of Wands, it can show that somebody feels like they're constantly being opposed. But I also look at this as drawing the line in the sand. This is what I won't deal with anymore. Especially if you're clearing out all the fake bullshit. So, man, you guys are like coming out swinging. Now, if somebody else is holding up the show here, you're not playing that game. Because it's not fair. It's not fair for your life to be put on hold because of another person. But, like I said, given the oracle cards here, I think it's, again, right? It's time to man up. It's time to do this now. But you're coming in strong with this whole feeling of, I need to do what's right, I need to do what's fair, and the things that have been wrong in my life need to be corrected now. Your best path to follow, the Fool. Go for it. Go for it, right? Because you're coming from a good place anyway. And some of you are trying to find that kind of balance in your life right now, right? But it starts with the big changes that are going to happen. And it makes me curious as to how that's connected with what's there. But with the Seven of Wands, again, you're not backing down. You're standing up for yourself now. You're standing up for what's right. You're defending your choices. You're defending the actions that you take. And your advice here is to take that leap of faith. I don't think it's about risk anymore. It's about, I need to do this. Because really, the Fool is taking a new path. Whatever happens will happen. But you have to, make that conscious choice to say, I'm going to go for it now. Wow. Oh boy. I'm telling you. Wow. The Ace of Swords in your environment with the Tower. And the Seven of Wands, that is definitely you. That is definitely you. I'm clearing out all the fake. Things have not been right. I need to get balance in my life. You're definitely doing it, and you're coming from a good place. There's no more, I need to see a different perspective. You've gained the enlightenment that you need. And I don't think that you're acting impulsively here because it's based on truth. The truth. Having the truth, seeing the truth, speaking the truth, knowing the truth, right? And accepting that truth and knowing that there needs to be drastic changes, Man, right? Like I can feel it. So it's almost like I can understand how Aries would feel when Mars starts to go direct, like, I'm coming out of this now and I'm coming out swinging, right? But I like it because the truth, as my mother always said, will set you free. And I think that for a lot of you, when that truth is known, accepted, and understood, that's where everything, boom. But you're still swinging with that Seven of Wands. Your hopes and your fears, the Five of Wands. And I can understand that, especially if there are people who are opposing you. Looking back at the Seven of Wands, for some of you, it's, I don't want to get into situations that are going to escalate, because I see that with the Five of Wands. But, it's also about competition, people not seeing eye to eye, stupid arguments, the pettiness, right? But you're not getting involved in that anymore. I think that the fear is that this will continue. And where things have not been right is where you have been opposed, where you have had people opposing your choices and your actions and things like that. So I don't see that as like super bad. And the thing is it's about your truth. It's not necessarily about whether or not other people are going to accept that, because it's about you and what you're choosing to do now to make things fair and balanced in your life. Wow, Aries. What the hell? You end up right where you started, the Two of Swords. Now, I'm hoping, though, that you're going to be able to make difficult choices here. So, and it bothers me a little bit because you go through all these drastic changes. For some of you, absolutely, you're creating that Tower moment. Once the truth is out, it's like it's gone. But you go into this place of, I need to defend myself and I need to defend my choices, but you're not actually making a choice. But I'm hoping that, with the Ace of Swords being in your environment, what's happening here is that you're going to be able to make that difficult choice to make things right. And then the Four of Wands, and it is about getting back to a place of stability. So let's talk about the Devil. And with the Hangman, that's a tough situation right there. So you're talking about not being able to move forward, not being able to see a different perspective for a while because you have been chained to some negative things. With the Devil, it could be, your shadow side, right? It could be unhealthy habits, patterns, behaviors, whatever. but it's really about the negative things that are, chaining you. But you're really doing that to yourself. Like they always say with the devil, the chains are not tight around your neck, but we do it because it's what we know. It's comfortable, right? So I think that for a lot of you, you spent a lot of time looking at that kind of part of you and the negative things that have been attached to you. And I think, like I said, you've gained that enlightenment, but it's only because the truth is coming out. You're having to face a big truth in your life about where things have been unfair. And now it's about getting back to, this place of fairness and balance. But then I look at the Queen of Cups, and for some of you, absolutely, this is what you're going to be internalizing. If this is going to be about a person, the truth is definitely coming out here. And it's creating, this destruction with the Tower. But it's to clear out all the fake things, especially if you've been dealing with somebody who's been emotionally manipulative, which absolutely can be the case. Now with the Queen of Cups, right? Water, male, female, doesn't matter to me. Now, if this is what you are internalizing, I think that for a lot of you, you may feel like you have been taken advantage of, especially emotionally. And now that's what we're clearing out. We're clearing out the people that would, want to hold us down or want to keep us in a negative space. And it's really about your emotional well-being now with the Queen of Cups. And then you lead into the Four of Wands. And with the Seven of Wands, absolutely. So it may be that for some of you, you're going to have to make a really difficult choice to cut something or someone out of your life. And I think that a lot of you are facing the truth of this now. You're going for, what you need to do to make things right for you. You're going to cut this out and you're going to get back to a place of stability. Because I'm not seeing you backing down. Even if you deal with opposition, especially with that Five of Wands there, it doesn't matter. And even if somebody else can't see your point of view, that pettiness is not going to be a part of your life anymore. It's not an easy choice, but it's definitely something that you're going to have to do, right? And your hands may have been tied for a long time, but with the devil, it's what you were doing to yourself, but you see that now though with the Ace of Swords. Wow, Aries. But I feel, I feel fired up. Okay, so I don't feel like the sun in this situation, and it's interesting because, I always see the sun and the Ace of Swords as being like closely related as far as seeing everything for what it is, seeing the truth, right? But I don't feel like it's being revitalized here. I really think that for a lot of you, you're going to get to a place of, I've had enough. I have had enough. This was not a choice that I wanted to make, but you're fired up and you're ready to go and you're ready to make things right. Make things corrected. Or correct things. My God, if I could talk right. Oh, but anyway, looking at the Queen of Cups though, and going back to this with justice, I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters anymore on whether or not this person is going to own up to their actions, especially if you've been dealing with emotional manipulation, because you're going to do what's necessary to make things right anyway. So I would say to you, don't expect anybody to own up to what they have done, especially if they put you in a negative place, right? Now, in terms of you, right, like you're still coming from a really good place and wanting to make sure things that are, like I said, fair and balanced. I like it. I love it. And integration, and that's perfect, right? So, and I like mystery being in the middle of it, because what that's saying to me is that instead of carrying this with you as like something really negative that you've experienced, you're looking at it like, now I understand. Now I see the mystery in it. I understand why I had to go through this, because it's pushing me to this place to make the difficult choices I have to get rid of the negative shit in my life. So that to me is like a better place. You're coming from a better place here, but it's because there's a renewal happening within you. And with integration, it has to do with your mind, your body, and your spirit all going in the same direction now. So you are coming from a good place. Aries is coming from a good place. And you're doing what's necessary. Oh my God, if I could talk right. You're doing what is necessary now to correct the unfairness that you have experienced. I need to get through this and shut the hell up. You guys are going to have to forgive me. This fucking cold and then the cold medicine on top of it. And surrendering to the journey, release control, right? And that goes along with mystery and what I was talking about. You understanding it from a place where I get it now. I get why I had to experience this. But once this is over, you get to kick back and relax and just, after you take that leap and you go for it, you get to see how everything unfolds after that. And you can just go with the flow and everything. It's really nice, Aries. But you guys are going to have to let me know what it is you've been like holding back on doing. Because I'm telling you, if you continue to feel like you're not prepared, you may go back into this place of isolation and feel like, you know, something has passed you by. So I'm serious when I say that. It's time now. All those opportunities that kept showing up for you throughout the year, now we have come to the point where you got to do it. You have to do it now.